What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Greatly appreciate you checking these out. Seagull, quick thought here. Netflix buying Warner Brothers, Animaniacs, HBO, whole bunch of other things. One thought with this is that eventually Netflix could own just about all of the movies and shows that we love, and they decide whether or not we can watch them. Like, if you have a favorite movie and Netflix decides it's not its favorite movie, if 6 people in a boardroom sitting around drinking decaf decide, I don't think I like Leprechaun 6 Back to the Hood. Guess what, pal? It does not exist. Doesn't stream anywhere. You can't get it. It's going to be hard to buy even because we stopped printing movies. Got to go to eBay and fight a guy for it, which I would recommend doing if that is one of your favorite movies. Own it. And there's people that go, just pirate it. I'm not pirating it. I am not going to go to some weird website, some haunted part of the internet with a bunch of betting app pop-ups and some gif of a half-naked woman doing horrible things with her face. I'm a big proponent of owning your favorite movies. I'm not going to let them decide whether or not I can watch RoboCop. I own RoboCop, and whenever I want to see Murphy shoot a guy out of a 90-story window who he easily could have arrested, he had him dead to rights, I'm going to turn it on. There's also an argument with this whole thing about whether or not this will end up closing movie theaters. Netflix buying this could make it so that movie theaters never exist again. The CEO of Netflix has come out and been like, we don't want to close movie theaters. We still want to release movies in the theater. However, they make movies all the time that they don't put in the theaters. And obviously, the whole app in general is like, why would you go outside when you could sit home, get on this app, and stream whatever you want whenever you want it? Why put your socks on? Why jam your socked foot into a crock? Wipe the butter off your face and walk into a movie theater when you can just sit back in the comfort of your own couch, move the dog toys out of the way, and then maybe kind of get into a movie somewhat from the comfort of your own living room while you're also scrolling on your phone. Going to a movie theater and enjoying a movie in a crowd is great when it is great. When it was great. It was a thing that was amazing, and it still can be good when it does happen. The amount of times I've sat in a movie theater that's just packed and had a great time, like Terminator 2, during some movie festival I got to see in Toronto. I saw the movie like 100 times before I ended up seeing it in the theater. And seeing it in the theater, you're sitting there going, this is how you want to see Arnold boot an office desk out a window and then attack a bunch of cop cars with a Gatling gun. This is how this was supposed to be seen. Not on a phone, not sitting in my house, getting up every once in a while to just go back and forth to the fridge to see how much cheese I have. There are some movies that truly need to be seen in a theater. Godzilla Minus One is one of those. Godzilla Minus One in the theater is how this is supposed to be done. You can say, I got an 85-inch TV at home. Great. That's not as big as this screen is. You can watch it at home, sure. You can also sit on a Greyhound bus and stream it on the iPhone 17, but then Godzilla's this big. Ticket for this Greyhound bus is bigger than Godzilla is. And I know there's people that say things like, oh, why would I go to a theater? Why would I go to a theater when I could just sit at home and watch the movie right here? I don't know. Why call a friend when you can talk to yourself? Why order food or make food when you can just eat one of the very edible paint chips that's on your apartment floor? I really dislike the idea of just making every single thing in your house. See people jacked about it, though. Thank God the movie theater's closing. Thank God that gyms are going to be gone. I don't need to go to a gym, pay a membership, stand in line with people. I'll get one kettlebell, and I'll swing it over my left and right shoulder, and I'll be in the greatest shape of my life. I'll be in my house kettlebelling while I pretend to watch a movie that's streaming on an app that I don't care about. Because I didn't walk anywhere to see this thing. I didn't do anything to see this thing. I can put it on, take it off whenever I want. So happy that stores are closing. Why go to a store and wait in line with these sauce-covered, butter-mouthed people when I can just press a button and have a bunch of stuff thrown directly through my front door? Even still, when people say like, oh, people interrupt movies. Yes, they do. Sometimes it's an awful experience to go to a movie theater. But also, watching a movie in your own house, people interrupt that too. You put something on, maybe you go, I'm really into this. Somebody comes out of a room and go, what is this? It's this. What's that about? Man, it's on. Sit down, watch it, or don't. I can kind of tell you about it quickly, but I'm in. I'm into this. It's one thing about a movie theater. They're not pausing it. It is on. This movie is on. You're sitting here and you're watching it in front of your face. You watch a movie at home. You might watch it while you're folding clothes. You might pause it every once in a while to go stir around craft dinner you're banging around in a pot. The people that review movies, man, they have to say how they watched it today. Because if you go to a movie theater and you watch it uninterrupted, okay, great. But just about nobody is doing that. I saw some psychotic monster start The Irishman on the subway. This man got on at 34th Street, started The Irishman. It was an express train. The next stop was 14th Street. This guy paused the movie and got off. And this is absolutely one of the people. Then somebody goes, you see The Irishman? He's like, nah, I couldn't get into it. Tell people why you couldn't get into it. You're in between subway stops. That rat is eating pizza. This man is dead. Of course you couldn't get into it. This would almost be some sort of like Navy SEALs test. Can you get into The Irishman in between subway stops, you absolute crazy person? People complain about the price of the movie theater, right? People complain about the ticket price, popcorn price. Ticket price, one thing, which kind of sucks. The theater is renting the movie from studios to show to us. And then they have to give parts of the ticket sales to the studios. Studios decided we're not going to really make any movies that aren't $500 million. We're making a movie for $500 million. We're going to take an entire 3 countries' education budget and make Captain America fight a talking rock for $500 million. So then theater goes, okay, we want to show that movie here. And they go, well, we got to make some of the costs back too. We just spent a place's entire defense budget making sure that Iron Man looks like sort of okay when he's flying against a flaming Mercedes-Benz, so you're going to have to up the cost of your tickets. And also the price of things just go up in general. Every theater, for the most part, has a day where they go, everything is half price. This whole thing is half price. Popcorn's half price. The ticket's half price. Get in here, please. Theater wants us there. I want to go, but theater's done some weird things to get people to try to go back. That whole theater where you can order food, I've only been to one. I went and saw Mad Max years ago in one. I hated it. I hated being asked how I'm doing during the movie. Again, I'm here to not be interrupted. I hated, hey, here's your bill before the movie's even done. And I really dislike the idea of people getting a burger during a movie. That's me. If I ran a theater, popcorn, chips, nachos, candy, we're stopping it there. First time I saw a Burger King in a theater, Scotiabank in Toronto, I went, We've gone too far. I can't listen to you unfold a Whopper during the dark night. I can't. Just a big fan of the theater. Because then there's some people, again, that say things like, well, I can just shut the movie off if I don't like it. That sucks to me. If you just shut it off halfway through, you're like, yeah, it sucked. I shut it off. It's not the same as like, I kicked the seat. I've walked out of 2 movies personally in my own life. I've walked out of Blues Brothers 2000. And the last movie I walked out of not very long ago, Jurassic Park, World Domination. You guys are trying to bake brains here. This thing is almost like a bunch of people sat in a room and go, how can we like bother people? How can we anger a whole theater? How can we insult and anger and bother and poke a theater full of people that come to this? We'll make it way too long. We'll have 4 stories going on throughout the entire movie that maybe some are solved, but some aren't. We'll have Dotson from the original be the main bad guy, and we're going to have a hat. Sam Neill's hat. Look at his hat. Dr. Grant's hat. Remember the hat? I'll tell you this. As a card-carrying member of one of the people that saw that movie during its original run, nobody anywhere talked about the hat. I don't know if the people that wrote that movie forgot that the movie has dinosaurs in it. Dinosaurs. If you went back in time and you saw a T-Rex, and then you saw somebody in a Von Dutch hat, I doubt you would go, whoa, look at the hat. Look at the dinosaur that's eating the Dutch. However, there's a million movies that are not an insult to the senses, that are worth checking out in a theater, and again, going to it anyway to see it. I hope it continues. Every time I go to a theater, there's just about nobody there for the most part, and I'm always like, man, it's going to be a sad day when these close. It really is. I personally will be sad. Because again, like I said, I don't want everything to go on in my house. I don't want every single thing to be in my house. Work from home, watch from home, work out from home, press a button and have kimchi whipped through your windows. There it is. Never leave again. Don't talk to anybody. Don't interact with anybody. Don't connect with anybody. Because why leave? Why leave? Why wipe the butter out of your eyes and leave your house to get more butter in them when you can just go to the kitchen, open the fridge, grab a handful of butter and smear it in your face? We're probably walking there anyway. And again, I'm going to keep buying every once in a while the movies that I love because I just don't want one person in a suit to decide. Because Netflix, look, man, you go on there sometimes and they don't have a great selection of certain things. Like their horror movies, as a person who likes horror movies, nope. Basically useless. They have some new ones, and that's about it. A lot of shiny things. So many horror movies today are made with too many lights, man. I can't get into the new Halloweens because Michael Myers looks like he's walking down a runway every time you see him. He's just lit up like this is some kind of a dance video. He's lit up like we're showing cars here. Older horror movies, they don't do that. They make it dark, they make it creepy, and there's also weird old horror movies that exist on a place called Tubi. Thank God for a thing like Tubi. Tubi takes, seemingly, the things that the big streaming services are like, nope, nobody wants that. Tubi's like, we'll take it all. They got Leprechaun 40. Back to the hood. But Tubi easily could be reached out to by a Netflix once they get Warner Brothers and go, hey, Tubi, let's be serious. We'll give you $1 billion for the whole thing. Just shut your mouths. And they go, great. And now we're back into one place deciding what it is that we get. I hope movie theaters exist. We'll see what happens with this whole deal. But thank you for checking this out. Please rate, subscribe, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Greatly appreciate you. See you all later.